Hi, everybody. It's Friday. It's happy hour. I hope you saw the show from earlier today. If you didn't, check that out on YouTube, on Rumble, and on Odyssey. I had Dave. You also know him as Distant on Den.social and on Twitter. He helped build the Nitsa. I think I'm saying that right. The USS Nitsa, which is the ship which is off of Turkey right now, or that caused all the hubbub. Actually, or did it. So go watch that and see what he said about it. He helped build it. Has a lot of insight on it. But it's Friday, so we always like to wear red for everyone deployed. And cheers to my buddy Clint Westwood. You guys make sure you're following his YouTube channel and catching all his daily rants. They're awesome. We'll be right back right after this. Give us a like and share the video. Happy freezing Friday, Westwood. How are you?
I'm wonderful. And how about yourself, lovely Light Queen Lisa?
I'm good. I'm cold. It's like we had all this great weather, and then all of a sudden a cold snap came in, and I didn't get in here early enough to turn my heater on in my office, and I'm freezing.
Come on, man. It's Oklahoma. It's not supposed to be cold. What's going on?
It's pretty cold. I mean, for me, it's cold.
Yeah. What is it, 60?
Something like that.
Is it really?
No. Oh. Hold on. 29 degrees.
Oh,
that's cold.
We're probably about the same then.
Yeah, that is cold.
Well, let me just check. Let me verify here on the old weather app. Oh, 30 degrees.
And that's today's high was 30.
Wow, you guys are
with
really...
a low of 23. Yeah. So
holy crap.
I hope my plants don't
choke out.
They just start coming up. The little daffodils start coming up early, the first little bits of spring, and you get all excited and think
beautiful
like
yellow popping up.
My
You're like, that's gonna be so pretty.
Flags are coming up out front in front of my office. I can see, and then it's gonna be 23. I'm like, oh, if that kills my plants, I'm gonna be really upset.
Not gonna be happy about it.
Not gonna be happy about it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I had some great interviews this week on the channel. Andy Scheckman came on again on, was that yesterday? Thursday?
Yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did kind of a later in the day. Johnny's traveling, and so Andy came on and gave us a little bit more of an update about what's going on in the silver markets. And
it's cheap. You should probably get some. That's what's going on.
Yeah, it's really crazy right now. And he went over again Operation Sandman. And
fill me in on that. I think I might know what it is, but I didn't see that show yesterday. I haven't watched it yet. So fill me in on Sandman.
So it's basically talking about the switch, the moment. He uses the term moment, the moment that the world stops using the Petro Reserve dollar. The world reserve currency of the petrodollar. So the Bretton Woods thing, what happened in the 40s. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
46, 7, 8.
But all that is really just falling apart.
Why would that be? I can't imagine.
Well, I have things playing in my head from I watched part of a Jim Willie interview earlier today, and so some of those stories are lining up with some of what Andy told me yesterday, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. On top of what he shared with us on Patreon, on my Patreon. So if you're one of my patrons, you have the password to go to my password protected page on my website, likequeenlisa.net, and that's where I'll have like interviews that I can't post here that I have to upload to a website because I had to invest in myself and pay a little bit more for my website to be able to do that. So that's worth it for people so they can have that information. So try to share that. I might try to share it publicly from my website.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe at least a week or two after my patrons get it.
Well, let me ask you this: are you posting the videos directly on the website uploading it to your website,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're linking to it with a password protected information.
No, the page itself is password protected.
Okay, and then that links to where are the videos housed? I mean, because if they're on your web server, that's like an extra. That's like kind of disconnecting from the internet ghettos, the social media platforms.
Yes,
If you've got it right on your
it's
website.
kept on my website,
Okay,
not
that's good.
on like
No, that's good.
YouTube, or
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's no way I could put some of these videos on. Like
Right.
the words, I would lose my whole channel.
Yeah.
I did it live with him, and then as I went through, because he was like, "Oh, we can do it live and just dance around, and we won't use those words." Well, Jim gets all excited,
and then it's too late.
and I'm
Cat's
like,
out of the
"Okay, I have
bag.
to immediately delete this." So if you didn't catch the live when I told you it was going to be live, then you have to wait until I can get it. I have to send the video to an editing guy. He compresses the video,
Okay.
and then I had to put it on my paid page that I added on to the website. So
makes sense.
if you are a paying Patreon member, you will have the website or the password, and you can go watch it anytime.
And so in the future, if they take down these platforms and you can't watch us on Happy Hour anymore because it's no longer on the tube.
And I do save all of my live streams on a separate hard drive. So I have my whole history saved outside of the system in a parallel universe.
Isn't that what we're in? Mm-hmm. Isn't that kind of how things are going? It's kind of that parallel universe to where we see things that are happening and you think, this doesn't make any sense. Why is this happening? How can this be?
Well, that's what, when you said today on your rant, that we're living in a digital world, like Madonna's Material Girl thing. We're not in a material world. We're in a digital world. Mm-hmm. I resonated with that so much, just with the metaverse and watching, kids play now versus kids playing previously. And, just all the conversations. And then Distant came on, Dave from Den.social, on earlier today, because so many people were passing around videos and telling rumors about, HARP systems on this USS Nitsa ship. And he was in the Navy and actually was one of the people that helped build the ship. And so he sent me links to all this information about the ship. We went through pictures and he said, see those big squares? That's what they're talking about. And now I should have written it down. It's some kind of system or wave that's used in HARP or similar to what HARP uses, but not for the same purpose. Okay. It's like, oh yeah, a gun and a bike are made out of metal, but it doesn't mean that they do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting. So that was a little, I just asked him to come on, and I thought it was only going to be, really short, but then we started talking about some crypto stuff. He's into blockchain technology and does a lot of building and coding. And so got to talk to him about some of that stuff too.
Perfect. So now you're putting ordinals on the Litecoin blockchain, right?
I saw you talking about that and you were excited about it. And all I remember is the conversations around when it recently happened in Bitcoin, and it filled up the blocks or slowed down the blocks. And so I think that was the concern for people. Yeah. But I wonder, with the technology of Litecoin being, a copy, but faster, but better, but in the new and improved Bitcoin, is it capable of handling ordinals better than what happened with the ordinals on Bitcoin?
Well, I think so. There's more bandwidth on Litecoin. I mean, you got more space to put it on there. And my point today is that it really doesn't matter, because ultimately we want use, right? And so I was listening to Litecoin Underground's spaces every Wednesday. He does it at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, and I mean, he always gets good people on there. And they were talking about ordinals, and because Daddy O had asked me, he says, so exactly what are the ordinals? What and just that trying to get my head around it. And I said, I kind of get it, but I don't. I need to know more about it. So I listened to the space and shut my mouth on Wednesday and listened. Imagine that. And there were a lot of people in there, and it was a big space. A lot of people joined in because you had ordinals in the title. So my point is, there's interest. People want to build these things, want to use these things. It's the nature of technology to improve itself and to expand and grow, and rather than just be stuck with the same old, same old. And with Litecoin, you've got the opportunity to use more space. It is faster, it is cheaper, it has more space than Bitcoin. So yeah, I mean, it can bog down the Bitcoin blockchain, but you see, it's kind of like hey, let's go ahead and do it, and then it kind of tapers off a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's where multiple blockchains are important. And you think, well, is it just putting pictures on the blockchain? I mean, what is it? Is it just crowding it up? And that's the fear, because a lot of us, we're into crypto because we want sound money. Let's not F with it. We got sound money. Let's not screw it up. I mean, and that's the fear, I think. But the way I look at it is, at first, that was my initial thinking. Okay, this could be dangerous. This could clog up the blockchain. How are we going to use money, if we can't use money? Because you see it with Bitcoin, it gets clogged up and fees end up being $50, 2017. It's like, this is not usable. Well, it is usable, because look what happened. The actual price in dollar terms, whatever, more energy has to go into Bitcoin now to acquire it. Whereas back in 2017, I mean, early on, you could have gotten it for $1,000 a Bitcoin, beginning of 2017. Well, now it's 24,000. And it's just that if it fills up, it's going to push the price up in dollar terms. And I don't like to talk about price, but people relate to that. It will make more energy, more money come into the network. And therefore, it is more valuable because more people are participating in the network. So if it fills up, hey, Litecoin's over here, it's a lot cheaper. Let's start doing stuff over here. And so that's going to happen. And more people are going to come into Litecoin and realize that, wait a minute, this thing works and this is cheap. And let's do everything on this. And then if it gets to the point where it fills up, then it has attracted a lot more energy and a lot more value. So, if you're just looking at it as an investment, number going to go up, basically. And so you've got to look at it that way, to where this is just another mechanism to bring in adoption. And then down the road, you've got other blockchains that can handle it. You're just sitting out there, unfilled blocks. Dogecoin, Digibyte, Vertcoin. I mean, it's like a clone of Litecoin almost. So there's all these other ones that are proof of work. But I look at it as, there is an important technology. I mean, these ordinals allow you to put a whole book on the blockchain, allow you to put like your will and testament on the blockchain, to put, whatever you want on the blockchain, and you pay a fee.
Is an ordinal the same thing as an oracle? Because I just did a show on World Blockchain Roundtable, and they were talking about oracles, and oracles are a piece of information that's put to link another chain, or coming from another chain to link to another chain.
It's like a verifier. No, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I generally speaking, an oracle, I think is
a piece of information, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like, you think back oracles in Greek mythology. They go smoke something and then they'd see the future and see, and all these things. But I mean, it's kind of in this instance, I think it's more of a verifier or a gatekeeper almost, or something that can, hey, that blockchain, that information coming from that is good.
A validator point.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and so it can kind of reach out to these multiple chains, validate it, and bring it to the other chain and that kind of thing. Whereas an ordinal is something, think coordinate. It's a pinpoint, coordinate, 2 coordinates. This is an ordinal, so it's almost like it's 1 coordinate. So where you're pinpointing something on the blockchain, a certain amount of information. The more information you put, the more it's going to cost you, because you're taking up more space on that blockchain. And so you do it on Bitcoin, it's going to cost you a lot, because there's not as much room.
Fees and
yes, exactly. And then you do it on Litecoin, it's going to be a lot less right now. So eventually, I mean, if it catches on, it could fill the blocks. But so what? It's going to increase the price. Look at Ethereum. The price of Ethereum went up when you had the NFT craze, and everybody's fighting to pay gas fees. They're using it, that technology. So it's going to just increase the value of the blockchain, because it puts more energy into it. It sucks more energy into it.
Which is how, that's free markets. I mean, if there's use case, if it has value, and then there's a demand for it, yes, the price goes up.
Absolutely. Because everybody's vying for a piece of the pie. They want a piece of the slice. They want something, and so they're going to pay for it. And if it's too much, they won't pay it. And, it'll level itself out. And if it gets to the point where it's way too much, they're going to say, is there another blockchain we can put ordinals on? And they'll say, oh, here's one over here. All right, let's port it over. And that's what happened with ordinals. The Litecoin community got together and said, hey, let's put a bounty out. somebody create a platform or a mechanism to be able to put ordinals on the Litecoin blockchain and paid the programmer in Litecoin to do it. And that's how it came about. You know, it was on Bitcoin. They're like, hey, let's put this on Litecoin. So they paid them in Litecoin to put it on the Litecoin network to make it easy. So, but you think of the content, you think of the history, the knowledge that you can put on that blockchain that's been running for over 11 years. I mean, if it's an important document, if it's like put the Constitution on it, so it's always on the blockchain. You know, put whatever you want on it, and it's always on the blockchain. And so I see it as an important evolution of the technology, really. And it's just going to continue to programming is code. And I mean, you can get more innovative and you'll find better ways. This wouldn't have been possible without the Taproot upgrade. So that was an upgrade to the blockchain. So all these things that are being built into the blockchain and evolving are just going to allow more and more technology, more and more information to go onto something that we never thought of. You know, like we'll look back and say, holy cow, you know, look at what this blockchain can do. And we thought all it could do is just be sound money. Well, it's always going to be sound money. It's just that you can use it for other things too. Make it more green.
Oh gosh.
You know.
Yeah, they're all talking about that. I was going back through Twitter. I was trying to find Caitlin Long. I thought it was Caitlin Long, either Wyoming or Montana. I think Andy told me this. Just made silver and gold legal tender. One of the states. And then Caitlin Long was, here's one of our new puppies on the, she likes to climb up on the candle. I was using that to keep them from tearing up their puppy pad. And I decided I'm going to take them on the road and do tricks, do a puppy circus, you know. Anyway, I thought I had that article in here though. I guess I don't. But happy birthday to my mama this week.
Oh, happy birthday.
So
Nana.
She and Josh Lake, and I thought Miss Teen Crypto's birthday was last week, but
it was the 16th.
Okay, the 16th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then people were retweeting her or something that she was celebrating later or something. So lots of February birthdays in our crypto fam, but
something about it. So you count forward 3 months, March, April, May. There's a lot of action going on in May for some reason. I don't know, spring flowers or something.
Oh Lord, I don't know.
Oh boy. We'll have all these pandemic babies.
Oh God, yeah.
Maybe. Well, it depends.
This was some of the stuff that they were showing in Turkey.
It's all gravy, baby.
Yeah, SGT report has an interview with Jim Willie out that he shows this guy talking about how that Putin's fighting the Khazarian mafia in underground wars, and that's why this is going on. And
the vermin, he called them, the vermin.
The vermin, yes. And I guess that came out like around December or something, is what Jim had said. But
look at the symbol. Look at the symbol that Zelensky always has on his shirts, and then kind of do a little research on that and what that means.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he's always got that little I don't know, somebody can maybe
whatever that is.
Yeah, I mean, go look that up and start comparing and say, what does this look like? I mean, what is this? I mean, is this something that has meaning? Remember, symbolism will be their downfall.
Looks like something from Star Trek. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like it, but if you really start looking at it, it might tie into some other things and make sense of what's going on.
Cool. Good to know. Good to know.
Mm-hmm. He's putting it out there. He's advertising who he is, so let's identify him. The billionaire that he is with his 15 mansions and all his money, and
all the money going back to BlackRock. So
in that palace that was never damaged, and the city there, Kiev, looked like it was a movie set or something. You know, when Biden was there,
the fake air raid videos.
Yeah, the fake air raid.
Andy had said that Zelensky, in my interview with Andy yesterday, he said that Zelensky made a statement, and I haven't found it, but that he made a statement that saying, like, we have partnerships with BlackRock to rebuild Ukraine.
Yep, I heard the video.
And we have all that. If you want to do business with tech, military resources because they have all our weapons, and we sent, so much of our resources to them. And tech, military, or what was the third thing? Something else. He's like, come do business with Ukraine.
Yeah. You want to make pharmaceuticals?
I was like, that's all our stuff, and then we know that
America last. Just remember that.
America last is exactly what, is happening. Yep. Yeah. And this goofy chick.
Honestly, I kind of wanted to subpoena the former president because I got to swear everybody in. And so I thought it'd be really cool to get 60 seconds with President Trump of me looking at him and being like, do you solemnly swear? And me getting to swear him in. I kind of thought that would be an awesome moment, personally.
So weird.
It would be such a cool TikTok moment.
Yeah. And then I didn't know, did you hear anything about this? I saw this video from Nicola 3 that the U.S. Embassy was on lockdown this week.
On that. I don't know. Where was that? In London, it says?
In London, and it says they were told to stay far away from the windows, and they're on lockdown.
Jeez. Yeah, because there's a kid trying to escape the royal palace. Don't look out the window and see it.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Get over here.
And there's his message to you know who. Oh, there he is. That's who he was talking to. Trippy Joe.
Somebody fell down the flight of stairs at Air Force One in, what was it, in Poland? I don't know who it was.
Coming out of them.
Yeah, did you see him fall down the steps?
That.
I don't know who it was, but imagine.
Well, if I had to guess who was falling up or downstairs.
It wasn't Trump. Don't you love that? They just gave him so much crap. Oh, he's going to stumble coming down the ramp and, all this stuff. And then Biden's always falling down, falls down on his bike, getting on the bike. Mm-hmm. You need training wheels for that, son? I mean, come on. Jeez. Yeah. Made in Ukraine, training wheels.
This was really interesting to me. So Uncle Cliff retweeted this. He said, ChatGPT comes up with a 5-point plan to free humanity from enslavement by the central banks and secret society. Looks damn close to what we're doing now. So if you go in
Imagine that.
This is so awesome. Hold on. I got to put some glasses on for it. Or maybe I can zoom it in. No, I can't zoom it. It says, it's important to rely on reputable sources of information when assessing claims about the world around us. Additionally, it's important to recognize that complex social problems require nuanced and multifaceted solutions that are informed by rigorous analysis and a commitment to the principles of social justice. In general, strategies for addressing social problems and promoting greater equity and justice
for all
require a range of actions and interventions, such as, number 1, building public awareness and understanding of the issues at hand, as well as the underlying social and economic factors that contribute to them. Number 2, advocating for policy changes and reforms that promote greater equity, fairness, justice, such as changes to taxation and financial regulation.
All right.
Number 3, mobilizing public support for change through grassroots organizing, community engagement, and social movements. Sounds a little like We the People. Number 4, supporting the development of alternative financial systems that prioritize social and environmental goals, such as community banks and credit unions. Number 5, supporting the development.
Where's the ITM?
That's right, of educational programs and resources that promote financial literacy and empower individuals to make informed financial decisions. What's so interesting to me is this has so much to do about
what's the word?
The finance and freedom, and
that's what crypto is, isn't it?
The education of people and giving them the power to make the choices for themselves. It's not about making people do things. It's about giving them information, resources, and education, and people will choose a better pathway than what is forced and shoved down on them,
But you see, that's what they did. See, this is what this mafia has been doing. These vampires have been doing. Mm-hmm. They've been purposefully making sure you don't have access to the truth. They're giving you a narrative that's false, and it's been false pretty much every aspect of our lives. Take over the education system, teach lies. Take over the pharmaceutical company, sell you lies.
Right.
Take over, and that's all it's been. And then when it comes down to, hey, let's maybe ask a few questions and maybe get some answers. Oh yeah, you go to East Palestine, Ohio, and you try to ask Peter Buttigieg, his press secretary,
Well,
what.
he was trying to strike a good balance.
Oh, whatever.
By
And
not
then you see
responding
that
too early. Kind of like, when you're first dating somebody, I don't want to call them too early. There's just a toxic chemical spill. Is it too early for me to go act like I care?
Yeah, I don't want
That's what
to
he
act
was
like I'm
thinking.
too interested. I can play
Yeah.
passive aggressive BS. But when he was there, you saw the grassroots reporter, not press, not authorized press, sanctioned press by the establishment. She's asking questions of Buttigieg, and he's just like, and then the press secretary for this guy won't answer questions on camera. She says, you're going to have to turn your camera off, or I can't answer any of your questions. I'm like, this is the press secretary. It's not Buttigieg. It's the press secretary for him. She can't answer the questions. And it's like,
And
this
that's
is
her job.
this is the uniting administration. This is the transparent administration. Remember Obama said, oh, it's going to be the most transparent organization. And BS. They tell you the opposite. And that's what they are, because they're inverted satanic vampires.
Absolutely.
That's what they are.
Absolutely.
But you see Trump, he would stand up there for 2 hours, answering every freaking question, and it's like, geez, these people
he had nothing to hide.
Right. He'll explain it. He'll answer it, no, this is what I'm telling you. And then these guys won't even answer a question, won't even talk to you, because they're so aloof, so elite and appointed, and just, they don't care about you. It's all about, I'm on my free time. Well, I got news for you. You don't have free time if you're in government.
Yeah. Speaking of Buttigieg, I heard he was taking a vacation.
Oh yeah. What was he? He was on maternity leave or something.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
I think he was. Or he, okay. She. I don't know what his pronouns are, and I really don't care. He, she, whatever. Doesn't matter. It, shim, shiz, whatever it is. You serve the people, bro. Or sis. That's just how it is. Right. It's a joke. What a contrast. What a freaking contrast. You got Trump showing up, and it's like, hey, I want to do what I can. I'm going to buy stuff for you, and I'm going to get donations, and I'm going to bring stuff in. And then these guys don't even show up until he shows up.
Right.
He put the spotlight on it. Give me a break. What's wrong with this? We pay these people? What a joke.
So as you were talking about symbolism and how much that they, and they love to show their symbolism. So this week on the 23rd, which we know that's one of their favorite numbers, right? The Iraqi central bank plans to allow trade with China. They announced that they were allowing trade with China to be settled directly in the yuan, and they're using the digital yuan in this, as opposed to the US dollar for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it says it was announced on February 22nd in this article, but it's posted on the 23rd. So I thought it was going to be so it would have been a February 22. 23. Okay.
Yeah. The fact that that's happening, Saddam tried that with euros, and look what happened to him.
Yes.
And so you're seeing kind of the neutralization of the empire. Really all it is right now, this empire, this American empire, it's just in speech only. Because there's no substance behind it. What really can be done at this point? I think people are starting to see through it, and it's just, I don't even care. This whole Ukraine thing where he's over there on President's Day.
Mm-hmm.
That raised a lot of eyebrows. Like, what is going on here? And then you got Janet Yellen coming out. Hey, we're going to give him $10 billion more. And it's a lot more than that.
And the only reason that she has first of all, why is it her choice to just give away our taxpayer dollars? Like, who got to vote on this money being given to Ukraine? There was never a vote. There was never, you know what I mean?
Created.
This money, it was created and then decided to be given to them, but meanwhile it steals out of our pocket. And the money that they're doing this with, let's remember that they were unable to or did not raise the debt ceiling, and so they said, well, to keep so that should have shut down the U.S. government, but to keep because the U.S. government was insolvent at that point, could not keep going without going and
Extreme
dipping
measures.
into their postal and who else's pension? I can't remember. The postal service workers' pension and somebody else. They went into, but and in the same breath, there's Joe Biden saying we are going to make sure that Ukrainians have their pensions. They're going to have pensions.
We're gonna make sure they got their pensions and their borders are protected.
And their borders are protected, but we
they're
can't
taken
do
care
that
of.
here in the U.S. But our dollars are going to do that for Ukraine.
Yeah, we got to start looking at this as energy. They're bleeding our energy. So instead of using dollars or Federal Reserve notes, money is energy, and they're bleeding our energy from us and giving it to somebody else. I mean, that's why they're a vampire. That's why they're vampires. They are bleeding our energy and giving it to someone else. I mean, how just appalling is that? I mean, they're just doing whatever they want, and whatever.
And the people making these choices are they were supposed to be representing us. And so there's new indictments, superseding indictment charges, Bankman-Fried with 12 counts, includes new details about alleged campaign donation fraud. SBF and cohort made more than 300 donations totaling tens of millions of dollars, feds allege. So they used multiple accounts to be able to give more money than what they're legally allowed to. And
it's all derivatives. Everything's a derivative. Everything's a derivative. Our dollar bills that we have is a derivative. I mean, all this stuff, because there's only so much. What they have, what they're giving is a derivative of the actual physical paper, which is a derivative of nothing, debt. I mean, none of it, it's all an illusion. It's all fake. But the thing is, until we stop participating in the vampire casino and giving it energy, it's going to continue to work. Even less and less, as we're seeing, because it buys less and less, so they need more and more. But, they wouldn't be able to do this if they had to hold silver in the treasury. At some point, silver's gone. Then what do? Kings would run out of gold in Europe. And they're like, people aren't going to be very happy when they find out the treasury's empty, and then the king gets their head cut off. But they can do it with the fake money because it's just created out of nothing. They couldn't do this with Bitcoin or Litecoin. They couldn't do it.
Another thing Andy told me, because I asked once we got off the show, then I still have questions, or something else pops in my head. And I was like,
right.
Okay, wait a minute. You said that all these banks are buying, all these countries. He said, I didn't say banks. I said the countries are buying gold and silver. Turkey, India, all these countries have been buying. China bought more gold they stated that they had all this gold. I think it was Turkey or India. He said bought more gold than what the U.S. has in the last year. But I said if they're going to be okay when how are the banks going to fail? Because I believe the banks are going to fail. He goes, the country will be okay, but the central bank will fail.
So basically, it's the treasury probably of the country buying it rather than the central bank of the country, maybe.
Right.
Or the military, taking possession of it and putting it in Fort Knox. Think about that. Putting gold. You know what I mean? You think about Fort Knox and you think, okay, the military, it's on a military base. Maybe it's because the military, and there's Magic Mitch, poof, making an appearance. So there's, it could be that the military is custodying the gold. Because if you think about it, where are you going to put it? Let some Treasury Secretary handle it? Maybe it's going on a Fort Knox. Maybe it's going on a fort, whatever, in Siberia or something. To where we got our gold. We're not worried about it. We got the guns. We got the energy. We're good. I don't know. Just a thought popped in my head.
Yeah.
That's what I'd do. Put it on a military base.
I think that's a great idea.
Well,
Westwood for president.
I don't want it. That's the thing. I don't want. Seriously, I went into political science when I started college, and I was like, no, I got out of it. Just went into teaching because I don't want to be that guy. I'll be the guy that helps that guy behind the scenes, but I don't want all that garbage. I don't want any of that. But I definitely want things to change and want good people to run things, and I'm more than happy to help those people, but I just don't want to be that guy. Anyway, but I know what you're saying. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. So I'm changing the description right now on the backside. You guys can see, hopefully you can see, Wendy O is asking everybody to go to that link to tell Congress to keep their hands off our crypto.
What you looking for?
Really quick. And
A
so
cup?
I'm going to put the link
There
in
should
the
be some down at the
description
bottom. Oh, there's some
of
there.
this
Could you
YouTube
grab that
video.
cup
You
in the
guys
freezer?
can
Got ice in it
refresh your
for me?
browser and you'll be able to see
Left
it, or
side.
go watch it after the show, or go check the description after the show. And you can send a
Thank you.
message to Congress to
Congress. I mean,
tell
that's the
them
thing, though. That's
stop.
really that's really our only option. Yeah, just sit that there. Thanks. That's our only option really is to, because they're still somewhat accessible. I mean, they still live in the district. Well, represent the district, and they do come home. They do have town hall meetings. Those people you can, get FaceTime with, the Congress people. You think about it, there's only 535 of them, 100 senators, 435 representatives. So, I mean, put some heat on them. Tell them what you think. You look at what happened in East Palestine with the town meeting, and it got a lot of press because people were upset. They showed up, and we got to show up and make these people know how we feel. And then they're like, oh, okay, the natives might be a little restless. Maybe I might need to change my tune.
Right.
That's what needs to happen.
Accountability is a great thing. And that's
Yeah.
where transparency and accountability brings a safer, more
Absolutely.
polite society.
Yeah. Did you see that here recently, what was it? Russia was not appealing, but putting their case to the UN and said, hey, we need an independent investigation of what's going on in Ukraine. Russia said
Wow.
this. And they want an independent investigation. And China's like, yeah, let's do that. And the US said, no, we're not doing that. We don't want that. You're just stonewalling. You're just smoke and mirroring it just because you invaded, And I'm thinking, no, wait a minute.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense. It's like you're trying to have a discussion here, and we want to get to the bottom of it, and we want to find the truth. And one side says, no, we're going to look for the truth. We don't want to, you're just talking crap. And it's like, well, if I'm talking crap, let's put it out there on the table and let the truth, lead us where it may lead us. But you see what's happening. Who blew up the pipeline? Seymour Hirsch. Go look at that article, and it's pretty clear, who gave the order to blow up the Nord Stream pipelines. Let's not talk about that, though. Russia.
Supposedly, Germany is starting to wake up to that.
Well, I don't think they liked it, but, again, they're, under the wing of the empire. And so getting away from that's tough, until you realize, okay, I want to get out. It's like being in the mafia. It's like, how do you get out of it once you're in it?
That's
without getting killed.
All on you. I'm going to look up a picture of Zelensky.
Oh, yeah, his thing.
Oh, I think cuteness is coming. Come on in.
Cuteness. Sweetness.
Let me do. Thank you. I wanted to share my little babies with everybody.
Rebel. Oh, I thought you were talking about Charlie. You're talking about the puppies.
No, the puppies.
The cuteness was coming in.
Aren't they cute?
I'll look at them. Show us your puppies.
This is Rebel. This is Rebel Rose. She's the fat one. She's daddy little fatty. She's got like big fluffy hair. And then this is what we thought was the sweet one. She's the little one. And this is Remington Justice.
Oh, kisses.
Yes, you are sweet. And she's the instigator. She like goes and jabs her sister and then turns around and run, try to get her to chase her.
Look, she's chasing me again, Mom.
Yes. So does Remington still need to go out?
Ornery. I love it. Oh, I'm just going to grab them.
They look tired. They're being very calm.
Must be my soothing voice.
That must be it.
That's what it is. They realize Westwood is on the other line. He's on the other side. Wants to hold. I'll put them to sleep. I'll hold them and they'll just be out.
Yeah. So we've been having lots of fun with them. It's like, having babies again. They're like, of course they do sleep all night, which is good. They've been really good about that, but
they haven't had to go potty at night.
No. Well, we have so I did a playpen thing.
Okay.
And then, so they have a
pad.
a baby gate and a pad. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
And if they have to potty, they'll, but mostly they don't want to in there because that's like their little house. And then right now we have them trapped with the couch in the living room. So they just hang out in there with us.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then we can kind of tell, the fast walking and sniffing, you got to go outside.
Yeah, I know. They start. Mom, Dad.
It's a little different than just play, whatever. But
It's so cute.
we're having
so
fun.
adorable. Oh my gosh. Oh, she's nibbling. She is. Look at her.
Am I?
No, she looks like she's nibbling on you.
Oh, yeah. She's true. Well, not really. They're just
No?
like,
Okay.
they can't really hurt you.
She is the size. They are a lot different.
Yeah. One's way bigger. Well, I
Yeah.
say way bigger. She was 2 pounds, 2
I
ounces
know.
when we picked her up, and she was 1.7. But this was the one that Charlie and Cannon just fell in love with her personality because she was just running up to them, so happy to see them. And this was a little quiet one in the back that I was like, I'll take that one.
That's the one I want.
Yeah.
And little did you know, it's the quiet ones you got to watch. Those are the dangerous ones.
Yes. So they're good girls, though. They're a lot of fun, and
It's hard to go wrong with a Maltese. I mean, they're sweethearts.
quiet. They're not yippy.
Sweet.
Yes, they're sweet. They want to snuggle
be
and
near you and
love, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, but
yeah.
That's crazy.
So we've gone opposite this time. You got 2 white dogs. I got 2 black.
I know.
Dogs. They're different sizes.
What's funny is, remember I had that dream where, and I thought it was you going to. I told you went and got 2 dogs, and they were all on a couch. Do you remember me telling you that?
I remember you telling me the dream. Yeah.
So when I was talking with this lady that was raising them, I said, well, I want to see a picture of the parents. And she's like, oh, okay, well, here's a picture of Daddy. And he's like on the bottom, like on the seat part of the couch. And then all his ladies, he's got like 4 girlfriends that were up along the top of the couch.
I know a guy like that. No.
That was the couch. I think that was his little casting couch. And I was like, I wonder if that's what my dream was. And then I ended up with 2 dogs.
You ended up with 2. Mm-hmm.
And
I got 2.
didn't
You
think
got
about
2.
that till later. It's funny.
I always think about the Goodfellas image. When they pull up to the mom's house, they got the guy in the trunk, and hey, we need to get a shovel. You got a shovel, Mom? I said, no, sit down. We're gonna make you something to eat. And it pulls out the picture. It's got the picture, the painted, and one dog going this way, one dog going that way, and the guy says, "What do you want from me?" No, that's just a funny scene if anybody's watched Goodfellas.
Yeah, I don't.
But you got one dog going one way, one dog going the other way. The guy says, "What do you want from me?"
Yeah,
it's just something funny. Charlie G gets it. He's in the chat.
Okay.
Paulie gets it.
Yeah. There we go.
Hey, that guy looks familiar. Hey, anyways.
I still don't know.
All right.
Another one of those movies I didn't see.
Goodfellas and Casino. I mean, every time it's on, I gotta watch it. I can't help myself. I gotta watch. I just sit down.
I watched Casino Royale the other day. It was actually really good.
The Bond movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you watch James Bond movies, that tells you a lot about how things really operate. I mean, because Ian Fleming was very tied to the intelligence in Britain, so he knew how things kind of worked. So the James Bond stuff, there's a lot to that. And you think about it, you watch it now,
I felt like it was full of comms. Like I was loving watching it, which I had a kind of a bad taste in my mouth from Bond movies because my bio dad used to watch them, so I don't like anything.
Okay, yeah, because I get
but
you. Yeah,
I had to watch Casino Royale because 107 talks about it all the time.
Okay.
And then I ended up really liking it, and there were like tons of comms in it. And
they're all over the place.
They're just
and everything they do, it's like that's what's happening. And then you think, there's this guy who's got a license to kill. I mean, he's just like outside the system, and the Queen's like sending him on her secret missions to like kill people, take people out, and unaccountable, and giving him all this money. And you think,
having all
what's
kinds
going
of
on?
immunity, whether it's sovereign immunity
it doesn't
or
matter.
So hey, so there that Brunson Adams case.
Yeah. What's
keeps
going on with
getting.
that? Because that was what, the
So the
17th they were
last
going to
I
look at it.
heard was that, that the Supreme Court turned down their petition again to be heard.
Okay.
It's not that it's been, people keep saying it was defeated and whatever. I'm like, no, it's just that they get
Is it
to
a
choose what
jurisdictional thing?
cases they get to hear. But I think that's the issue, because when I looked up sovereign immunity, I think it's to educate people about our system, and that our current, the way it's set up, like our congressmen and women are protected under sovereign immunity. So they have no accountability because they cannot be tried in a court of their own state. The state cannot be held accountable by its own court. Stop. And so I think that's the issue. But it can be held accountable in another court. So maybe
what kind of court might that be?
Tribunals.
Maybe.
What kind of court would that be? Other kinds of court. So I think that's where that may end up showing up.
Court of public opinion. That's important.
That
can change everything.
Mm-hmm. And if we're doing things like Chat GPT said, where we're educating people, getting the information out there, helping people be educated, whether it's on the financial system or the judicial system or our legislative system, and then letting the people take organic action, that empowers the people. And that doesn't take a hero to come save you. That's how the people save themselves.
Hey, jury nullification. You can save yourself with that. Go look that up and what that is and how powerful a juror is. I mean, that's something you should want to serve on a jury. And then you saw, because look, you saw the grand juror that you showed, that was going to make Trump.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I mean, but that's the thing. Look at the power that you have. If you're on a grand jury, you can indict people. If you are on a jury, you can say, I don't care. He's guilty according to this BS law, but you let him go. I mean, the jurors can say, no, not finding them guilty, even though according to law, they're guilty. But the jury can say no. 12 people can say, no, overturn the whole Constitution if they want to, and say, no, that's not a just law. Shouldn't have been ever done. We're letting the guy off. It's a powerful thing that, our framers wanted it to devolve to the people, to go to the people. That's where the ultimate power derives from. And we've got to understand that. And that's why I say they're vampires. They need our energy. They want to convince us to give them the energy because they know that we're the powerful ones and we are the ones that make the whole thing work. They just don't want us to know that.
Yeah.
And you got to assert that and know that as an individual that, no, I'm not going to go along with that.
Wait, what are you doing?
I think California had a ruling. I think their Supreme Court ruled that a local school district cannot force one of these, of any kind, not just the C-19, but any kind of those anymore. I mean,
so there's a lot of rules right now being passed about schools. In Oklahoma, we just had one about, and that that same ruling just went through about the Navy. So that's good news. But there was also a law that was passed. I heard my friend Chad Alexander talking. He has a radio show here. His wife was on Trump's campaign for 2016 and 2020, and he said he was talking about they were talking about how public funds cannot be used at a charter school, and some people were like, oh, we should be able to, because it's Oklahoma Bible Belt, like this is the buckle of the Bible Belt,
right?
And they wanted to be able to use public funds for Catholic schools or whatever, Christian schools, whatever. And they're like, be careful what you wish for, because the minute you do that, then you're going to have some Muslim,
satanic school,
satanic, whatever. And do you want your dollars going to that?
Yeah, that's an important thing to realize. The state cannot, enforce, or I shouldn't say the actual language of the First Amendment, cannot be, behind the supporting of a religion. They wanted the state kind of to be agnostic, to where it's like, hey, everybody's free to choose what they want. We're not, because if you think about where the Constitution came from, they learned from past mistakes. You look at what, Henry VIII, for instance, did. He split from the Catholic Church, instituted a, religion, for England. It's the Anglican Church now. because he wanted to divorce his wife. The Pope said no. He's like, fine, I'm just going to replicate.
Did the Magna Carta?
No, that was John
the
first,
fourth.
I think. Was it
the
fourth? It was King John, like what, 12, 15? Okay. Isn't that what it was? And the nobles are like, hey, you got too much power. We want some, we got to distribute this power. Anyway, Magna Carta. But I mean, what King Henry VIII did, he's like, hey, I want to divorce this woman. He had multiple wives. And the Pope said, nah, not going to let you do it. And he's like, the F you're not, I'm just going to split from you. Well, you're excommunicated. Well, fine, I'll start my own church. And so you got an Anglican church now in England. And he's like, I'm the head of the church, not the Pope. And then after that, though, what happened is you had this struggle.
All the divorces you want.
Yeah, exactly. And then after that, though, his kids, you had Bloody Mary, Catholic, then you had Queen Elizabeth, and so there was back and forth. Whoever was in charge, this is the religion now, and anybody that doesn't, we're going to cut your head off and persecute you. And so our founding fathers see all this that had happened, and they're like, no, we cannot have religion involved in government. We've got to separate that to where it's not to where a government's sanctioning a religion, because they saw the damage that can do. And so that's really what the flavor of that is, through their experience, they're realizing we can't have the state establishing religions here because it ends up being bad. So anyway.
No, I think that's smart. I have had a really strong.
But you're free to worship whatever you want.
Yes.
As long as
it
you're not
doesn't mean you
crimes
can't pray in school.
Correct. But just because your religion says, hey, I can kill homosexuals, so that's okay. My religion says I can do that. No, you're violating the rights of someone else, so that's a problem. Doesn't matter what your religion says.
And it means that your government can't force you to bend a knee and pray to whoever they see.
Correct. I'm the God, I'm
the God or the power. You choose as an individual. Right. Yeah. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Our system of government's pretty good. Our Constitution is pretty good if it were used and we were following the rules. I mean, but you see nobody follows the rules anymore. So that's the problem. It's not the Constitution. It's the people that don't play by the playbook.
For sure. Puppies Gone Wild. Yes, Daddy-O.
Puppies Gone Wild, Part 3, live from Panama Beach.
They're so funny. But I wanted you guys to get to see them.
Puppies hanging out everywhere.
They're so cute and sweet. So, speaking of not following the rules and all of that fun stuff.
Hey, I'm all for that. What we got?
Oh, maybe I shouldn't go there yet.
You're going to speak in code.
Yeah. I'm like, well.
Let me check the chat. All you beautiful people here on Happy Hour Friday.
Stop. That hurts. Okay, wait. I almost had them. So, the other day they fell asleep and then it was easier.
What kind of whiskey? I've got I've cracked the wax today. Got the Maker's Mark. Somebody's asking what kind of whiskey I got. I just grabbed the Maker's Mark today. What a terrible world it would be if there were only one kind of whiskey. Unless it were Westwood whiskey. Oh, that'd be okay then. No.
I know.
I mean,
we're working on it.
It's just like blockchain, though. It's like, how boring would it be if there's only one chain? If I could only drink Bud Light and nothing else, how boring would it be? How boring would it be if there's only one kind of whiskey and this is what you get to drink? Oh, this is it. It's like, I want a different flavor. No, I can't have it. Sorry. But I like Litecoin. Litecoin bad, Bitcoin good. That's it. What?
Yeah, let everybody be free to choose their own.
Right.
Get your
Free
hands
to
off my
choose.
currency.
Do what you want.
All of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love money that gets devalued. Pay me in Federal Reserve notes so it loses purchasing power every day. I just love that. I mean, it's great that they mandated that and said that, what do they write on it just to make you think it's worth something, unlike Monopoly money. They say, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. It's legal tender. And they have to say that because if you look at it, you're like, this is a cartoon. Look what it says on it.
It's worse than an NFT.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Yeah, but they got to tell you, hey, this is good. Trust us. It's good. It's fine. You can use it. Does it work? Kind of. Snicker bar for $3. Hey, it's fine. No worries. Used to be 35 cents, but no worries. Put your effort, put your energy into sound money, things that are going to last, especially in the digital age. Speaking of digital age, I've got a friend that we all know who can't be with us right now because he had an ice storm go through and he has no internet. And he says, the kids are going nuts. He said, there's no internet. The electricity's out. He says, it's absolutely terrible. He's like, this is awful. And I said, see, We need the digital age at this point. Everything is dependent upon it. And when it doesn't work, everything falls apart, man. We'd like become inhuman. We go nuts. And I mean, not that that's good that we're that dependent, but we are. Our entire society is based, all the electronics in cars, all the electronics in everywhere you go to purchase anything, all that stuff has to work.
Think of
so
the
we
70s
are
when
digital.
there were, so if energy is, if everything's digital, and right now we count on electricity for our energy mostly, and it comes from oil and gas. Yes, I know. Please,
Yeah, I mean, oil, natural gas.
If you think back to the 70s, when there were, we were in a similar financial crisis.
Yeah, the days of malaise.
There were, and there were those lines at the gas station.
Yep.
Because people needed energy. They needed gas to fuel their cars. Well, now it doesn't even have to get to empty tanks at the gas station. They just literally can't get it up. Bump.
That's what she said.
Yeah. And they just can't get it up at the gas station because
thinking of Depeche Mode. I just can't get it up. I just can't get enough.
I don't think those are the words, but okay.
Okay, go ahead.
They can't get the fuel up out of the ground because it's all,
the pumps don't work.
The pumps don't work. They're all.
Remember when we road tripped and went to New Jersey and we stopped at that little gas station? We're like, hey, there's a little gas station. Let's go ahead and top off. And we go and like, I don't know if it's open or not. They got like the dark lights on. I don't think it's open. But the tanks, they got lights on them. Here, let's fill up. So put the credit card in, scanned it, push the pump, and like 5 cents come out because there's a little bit left in the hose.
It was weird, yeah.
Because the pump didn't work because they had it shut off.
Yeah.
But and so when the electricity's out, nothing's gonna work in society. And I mean, we're like imploding in one day. I mean, in 5 minutes, if the internet's out, everybody's like, ah.
That's where it expedites it. Before it's not. What did Kiyosaki said, or maybe it wasn't him, but it was an interview with him, like 9 days till tyranny or something like that. 9 days of meals till tyranny, or not till tyranny, till revolution. 9 days to revolution. There's some quote about people
dogs and cats living for 9 together, days. End of the world stuff.
Yeah, something about that. 9 days. Well, now I think it would go so exponentially fast because people would be like, no, dude, I can't get on my
bro.
Whatever. The minute your phone, you can't recharge your phone.
Right. Then
they would be on an island.
Panic. It's like low battery mode. Shit, I'm about dead. I got nothing. I'm disconnected. I'm in trouble. That's the reality. Everything is so dependent upon everything working. Everything is digital. And, we can harden that. We can make that resilient. I mean, we can do that, and that's okay. I mean, because you think about, what life was like 300 years ago. And, I mean, you had to do other things. It's like, well, if we don't have water in the tank, we're going to die. We got to make sure we store up enough water. So, we have to make sure we have reliable energy, or at least store the energy, or do whatever we have to do. It's just same problems, different backdrop, surviving. But we're in this digital world right now.
Also education.
Yeah.
I love that Uncle Cliff talks about like buying books, older books.
I love books.
And one of the things my dad did was he would buy how-to books, and those were some of the books when my mom said like they had walls and walls, and he had, I think he had
Library of Congress.
He had like 3 libraries in the house, and she's like, I got to get rid of some of these books, and so I went and helped her. But we kept the how-to books.
You know what, though? Our founding fathers all had libraries. I mean, all the people of the elite back in the time, they had access to
Carnegie
school.
Started the public library.
Right. And Jefferson gave a lot to, I think, the Library of Congress, his stuff. I mean, our founding fathers and the people before that, that's how they were smart. And other people were dumb. But that information they had access to the information.
For the elite. The libraries were saved not for the people. And so Carnegie came in and made public libraries. Said this information should
Everybody
be
should have
it. Everyone should have this information. Everyone should have the ability to go think for yourself and make your own
conclusions. And you know what? And you go back to the Catholic Church to where it's like, no, we're reading from the Latin Bible. We're giving the sermons in Latin. Nobody understands it. And you got to go to the priest if you got a question, and he can interpret it however he wants because you don't speak Latin. Okay, well, you need to do this for me, and you got corruption built into the system because you've got control of the knowledge. And then along comes Martin Luther, and you've got a
Yeah.
press, and he's like, oh, hey, let's put
Nailed it
Bibles
to
in
the
everybody's
door
house.
of the
Yeah,
church.
95 Theses of the church in Wittenberg, Germany. And then next thing you get a printing press, and pretty soon it's like, oh, we got a Vulgate Bible. We got all these Bibles that people can read. And like, oh, I didn't know that's what it said. He was telling me this, that liar. And so that's it. It's that dissemination of information that that's why I'm not against any of these social media platforms. More information the better. We just have to use discernment, though. We have to realize there's so much, not necessarily information, but there's so much data that we have to sift through it. And I'd rather be in that world, though, than live in darkness and have people withholding truth from me, or information, truth and fake. I want to have access to it. And now more than ever, we've got access to all that information. And see, that's why these people are failing. That's why these vampires are failing, because now we've got the information that we can seek out, and it's up to us. We can choose to be free and don't give energy to that system and move on and break free, or we can choose to just, be in the darkness and let the vampires take your energy.
Yes. Well, and I loved this. I caught, Uncle Cliff's tweet. And the only reason I knew what Elon was doing is because I caught Uncle Cliff's tweet. But he says, nice sentiment, as long as it lasts, prepare to be boarded. And he's talking to Elon. And Elon says, I have unblocked everyone I blocked, apart from scammers. I recommend everyone else do the same. Negative feedback is a good thing. I don't know that negative feedback is a good thing, but I believe
Might
that
not be the right word.
constructive criticism
Yes,
is a
the
good
opposing
thing.
side is good, whether you perceive
Yeah.
it as negative. I mean, but someone else's opinion, some other data is important. It's important that we have access to all the information.
Yeah. And
All
it's
of
good
it.
exercise for your brain to listen
Yes.
to something that makes you question. Even it might build resilience in your own existing beliefs. It might be like working out. When you lift a heavy weight,
Hurts.
that actually breaks down the muscle.
It
And
hurts
then
at first. You're
muscle,
sore.
yes, your muscle rebuilds to be stronger
Yes,
afterwards.
100%.
So you might be stronger in your position
Correct.
if you go and look at something or have a conversation with somebody who believes differently than you, or stretch your mind. Like, don't be so afraid of the
Right.
truth if
Let go
you're
of the
really
fear.
truth seeking.
Here's the thing. Most people are, I don't want to say most people, the people that can't change are the people who are, they've got vested interest in a system that might not be the best system. And they're like, I'm kind of in my comfort zone. I really don't want to change. I'm going to defend the stock market because, I'm Warren Buffett and that's where I made my money. I don't like Bitcoin. Charlie Munger. I don't like Bitcoin. Jamie Dimon. I don't like Bitcoin, even though, I'm buying it on the side.
Meanwhile, they're buying the crap out of
because that's what they want to do. They want
behind
to
the
see, again,
scenes.
they're deceiving you. They understand, but they don't want to give you the truth so that you can make decisions for yourself. They want to scare you, fear you, use propaganda, and create an illusion, a world of illusion that they want you to believe in and want you to watch and participate in. It's like, no, find the information for yourself and make your own decisions. Just like the skull and crossbones, I think if you break a bone, doesn't it grow back stronger? I don't know. I've heard that.
Same
So
thing.
there you go. Nature's giving us the answers.
Yeah, we have all the answers. We just have to ask the questions and look for it. And
look inside. Walk this way.
No, I'm saying.
All right.
I got dinged off of our last week's video for
ours
showing. Yeah, it's demonetized for
showing our puppies.
No, for some video that I shared.
Really?
Yeah, it said like John and something. I can't remember what it was. I was like, it's not even a music thing or whatever. I don't know why.
They're just looking for reasons, and that's it. The system's going to look for reasons to try and withhold the truth and stifle the truth, but it's going to win. The harder you squeeze, the more we slip through your fingers, Vader. I mean, and that's the way it is. I mean, you cannot withhold it. All the truth is out there. The Pandora's box of information has been opened with all of this digital age. They thought they would control us. They thought they would be able to change history with the digital world. They thought they would be able to manipulate everything digitally. Problem is, it's a weapon. It's a tool. Could be a tool or a weapon. And if we use it on the other side and say, wait a minute, feed me the information. Now I see the truth. Now I know what you guys have been doing. Now I can take action. Now I don't believe in you. It's all an illusion. Pulling a plug, not giving you the energy. Vampire, I'm out.
So Uncle Cliff had said that there was going to be a week with a month's worth of news, and I thought it was supposed to be this week. Do
It's
you
like
feel
every
like
week.
that happened, or it's just like we're numb to
It's
it
all the
now?
time, I think.
It's
I mean,
all the
I think
time.
it's all
It's
the
every
time.
day.
It might be for the normies. I mean, that may be kind of where we're at now, to where things will happen. And I mean, again, if you look at the Ukraine situation this week, you look at the East Palestine situation this week, and just the optics and just the responses, and just if you're watching a movie and you watch it, you're like, well, that guy's an idiot. You know, well, that guy seems like he really gives a crap about people. Well, that chick, she doesn't want to she doesn't even want to have a discussion. I mean, you know, and so people that will resonate with people at kind of a lower level, a guttural level, to where they're like, man, if somebody did that to me, I'd kick his butt. Or, you know, I wouldn't take that crap. And so I think, you know, people are starting to resonate with that, starting to see that. And it's, you know, and that's what it takes. You know, people got to wake up. People got to see it. And it's in your face every day, every week. So, you know, hopefully people are waking up.
Okay. Yeah, Warrior 32 says, I think he said every week we will get months worth of news. That makes sense.
It does make sense.
Understood or misquoted.
No, that does make sense, Warrior.
Yeah.
Search it up.
Search it up. It's happening. Yeah. So we had a great class last week. Was that last week? Last Saturday?
2 weeks ago now, I think.
2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
So you can go to likequenlisa.net and book a class with Westwood and I. We have, I think I scheduled it to have up to 10 or more spaces for individuals, and it's a live one-on-one Zoom so that we can screen share, answer questions. We try to block out at least 2 hours. If we need it all, we may not need it all to answer all your questions, but you can book that, and you can also book opportunities if you wanted to request us to come speak at an event for you. If you're hosting some kind of freedom event, crypto event, yeah, I'm going to drag you with me.
Oh, man. So she just assumes, Westwood's going to come with me, and she knows.
Well, they can make a request, and I can ask you. I have it up there that I'm offering that as a service or
optional. Would you like to add Westwood as a side item?
Yes. Can you get a side of Westwood?
Can I get a side of Westwood, please? I mean, that's a big portion. I don't know.
I'd like Lisa to come speak with the side of Westwood.
It's like a main course.
Yeah, he's kind of the main course. Yeah, so check those out. There's some other resources there. I'm going to spend some time this weekend updating my website and putting some more resources, and definitely go watch the interview. I'm working on having Andy would like to come on more frequently to do. He said that the market's going to be changing really quickly, and there's a lot going on in the precious metals markets. So he said he'd like to come on more regularly. So I'm going to start doing that as well.
I think that's true, though, because what we're seeing right now is this. I mean, you know, it's the left versus right, the east versus west. I mean, you're seeing the friction, you're seeing the polling, you're seeing the bricks versus the west.
Yes.
And you know, and that involves, I mean, that comes down to money. You know, what form of energy, what form of money are we going to be using going forward? And I mean, you know, yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of changes economically speaking. And that was, you know, and I won't mention any names, but when we had the class, 2 weeks ago now on Saturday, I mean, the person who was in that class, I mean, that was it. You know, that person had
really preparing.
Yeah, their retirement. I mean, this is not, you know, I mean, you know, it's not a 20-year-old, you know, it's somebody that's worked their whole lives, and they put their retirement into crypto because they wanted to exit the vampire system. They did not want to be a part of that. And they were looking for, hey, you know, how do I do this? How do I do that? And, you know, and I think that person learned a lot and was able to feel a lot more comfortable that, okay, now you know, because it's scary. It's scary when you're taking possession.
Intimidating.
Of your
You're taking, that was my thumbnail today, was that, you know, finding freedom through personal responsibility. And that personal responsibility is a brave step, but that's what they want to lead us with fear. They want to, you know, they
Well, it's
want
dangerous. Did you
us to
see
all be
August?
afraid to take care of ourselves, and you just sit in the corner and you'll be
We
safe.
got your back.
You know?
We got your back. Both our hands
Yeah.
are on your shoulders. We got your back. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's the way it is. But you've got Augustin Karstens, never seen a buffet in life. The guy, the head of the BIS, the BS,
Yes.
the Bank of International Settlements.
Bless his heart,
This guy, he comes out and says, we've already won. We've defeated crypto. And his 3 points were, I should have brought him up. I think I retweeted it. But his 3 points were, we've already defeated crypto. The current system has already put crypto into its grave. And his 3 points were something like, crypto is decentralized. It's not backed by a central authority. And I'm thinking, so that means you won? I mean, that's why we're into crypto, man. And it was like
the
things
point
like
of that.
It was things like that to where, but they're trying to fear you into the idea that, well, it can't be trusted. It's dangerous. Okay, so was Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, so were all these other people. They were considered dangerous to the establishment. And look at, yeah, right. I mean, come on. The establishment always wants to protect the establishment, and they are looking to take everything you have. So I call them vampires. They want your energy, all of it.
Yes.
And they won't be satisfied until they have it all.
So are you going to jump on and do spaces tonight?
Should I?
I don't know.
Will you be there?
If you text
If I text you and don't DM you.
I do want to ask everybody before we close this today, like, just if you are a praying person or you are a spiritual person, you believe in energy, love, light, sending positive things, we have some friends that could really use your energy. My friend, our friend, Michelle Mame, Crypto Mame, is really she is fighting the fight and going through a battle right now medically. And I just ask everybody, like, send her lots of love.
Absolutely. Keep her in your thoughts. Just think about her and put your energy and focus it, because it does make a difference. I mean, hurricanes can be steered in different directions. That experiment's been done on the Art Bell program back in the day, to where if we have enough concentrated energy, all things are possible. And, just keep her in your thoughts. Put your good, positive energy her way.
There's an article from, it's once again, older book that I'm sure they would love to burn and get rid of it. But this was, I don't know if it was in Finland or Sweden. And it's a bunch of nurses praying for the blood to stop, for this surgery to be able to be possible in this individual. And it was a common practice for the nurses or the medical caregivers to pray and have the body respond to prayer. And so I think we can all do that for Mame and just send her lots of love and light and energy. And of course, Mitchie and his mom and her on her journey of crossing over. We always want peace and all
comfort.
All good and comfort. Yeah, peace and comfort. That's great.
Right. Just going back to, we're just going back to that,
It's a good thing, yeah.
Where are we going? We're going to the cosmic bus stop in the sky. I mean, we're just going to go back up there and reconvene and figure out what our next journey is. So, I mean, the energy never dies. It just moves on. Have peace and comfort in that, because that's really the truth. I mean, I would believe that 100%. I wouldn't be here fighting this battle if I hadn't chosen to come back and fight it.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we have that choice. And, it's just a transfer of energy to a different form. And, use it while you got it. And make some changes now, but when the time comes, and, gracefully know that you're going somewhere else and there'll be another opportunity.
Yeah. And relationships are the only thing we can take with us. And that's why I'm grateful for all of you. And Westwood, I'm grateful for you. And I will see you at spaces or hear you at spaces tonight. I got to get these little monsters.
All right. Take care of your puppies.
Something to eat.
That's an important thing. Take care of your puppies, everybody.
I will.
Good thing.
Bye, guys.
Trust yourself.